Hey, how y'all doing out there? I hope everyone is doing great. I want to welcome you to Grief to Grace YouTube channel. My name is Dale. On this channel, I like to share my journey with grief after losing my mom and my dad. And I use it as a way to encourage others as well as track my progress in my grief journey. I also like to give inspirational messages to people on this journey as I am. So today I want to talk to you about, let's see what our topic is today. It's called When Comforting Words Miss the Mark. When comforting words miss the mark. So when you've lost someone, you get a lot of texts, as well as phone calls and cards and conversations with people that knew your loved one or knew you personally. And sometimes the things those people say really ain't what you want to hear at the moment, right? So that's what I'm going to talk to you about today in this video. So number one, of things that maybe not to say to someone that's grieving or someone that has just suffered loss. Everything happens for a reason. I've heard that so many times. So many times. Why should we not say that? Because this sounds dismissive and invalidates your pain or invalidates that person's pain. Everything happens for a reason. It's not something you want to tell somebody that's dealing with grief. Tell me. Because what's the reason behind me losing my loved one? Can you answer that for me? Can you give me the reason behind a child losing their mother or a mother losing their child? Okay? So that invalidates their pain. Don't use that one. Okay? Don't use it. They're in a better place. I don't like that one either. I lost my mother. It's stuff like that that makes me feel, So, God needed my mama no more than I did, or God needed my dad more than I did, is what you're telling me. That's so, no, we're not saying that, okay? They're in a better place. You don't know that. I don't know that unless we done been there and seen it with our own eyes. Nobody knows that. At least they lived a long life. Suppose they didn't. How could you tell that to a mother that just lost her child? We ain't saying that one either. Grief is deep regardless of the age or the circumstance. Loss is loss regardless of the age or circumstance. When my sister passed away, she left a 13-year-old and I think a 17-year-old. Would you tell them at least their mama lived a long life? No. So no, we're not saying that either, okay? Cut it out your vocabulary. This one, I hate, I don't like. It's the I know how you feel. No, you don't. You don't. To me, the better way of saying it is I can't imagine how you feel. Because when you tell a person, I know how you feel, even if you've lost your spouse and they've lost their spouse, even if you've lost your mother and they've lost their mother, even if you lost their father and they lost their father, even if you've lost your child and they've lost their child, what separates this one and makes it not a good thing to say, you don't know that person's relationship with that person they were with. You don't know the relationship that man and woman had to her husband. You don't know that relationship they have with their child. So you can't compare your loss to their loss. Okay? So let's not say that. I can't imagine what you are going through is what you can say. Don't say, I know how you feel. Rephrase it, I can't imagine what you're going through. Because I had to learn that. When my boyfriend lost his mother, I couldn't imagine what he was going through. I had no idea what that felt like at that moment until I lost my mother. And it wasn't a good feeling. Oh, this one. You need to be strong. Strong for who? Who gonna be strong for me? If I'm strong for everybody else, who's strong for me? We ain't using that. It puts pressure on that person to hide or suppress their pain, to hide or suppress their grief. We're not doing that. No, we ain't suppressing our grief. Okay, we're gonna express how we feel. And we're gonna be honest with our feelings and our emotions. It was God's plan. Oh my God, I hate that one. So, that can feel very hurtful because the person may be wrestling with their faith. When I lost my mom and dad, especially when I lost my mom, I was wrestling with God. Not gonna lie to you, seriously. Talk about somebody who was angry with God. My mom lived to be 70 years old, and I'm grateful for that. But the circumstances and the situations surrounding how all of it went down, God was the last person I want to talk to. Okay? So, we ain't using that. It was God's plan. We throwing that out the window. To a mother that has lost her children, to tell her at least she has other children or family. Or to tell that to anybody. No, we're not using that. We're not. Because then with that statement, you're suggesting that the person they just lost is replaceable. At least you still got a daddy, or at least you still got a mama, or at least you still have other children. So you're saying the person I lost is replaceable because I have other people. No, don't use that one. To someone that has lost their spouse, you'll find someone else after the death of their partner. That feels dismissive of the unique relationship or bond they have with that person. Don't tell people that. Oh, you still young, you still can find somebody. No, don't say that. Do not say that. Okay? Time heals all wounds. Biggest lie on earth. Because no matter what happens in life, time is still going to keep going. Okay? Time does not heal wounds. Time makes it a little bit easier to deal with and live with. That's all time does. It doesn't heal anything. Okay? And with grief is not linear. It doesn't have a time limit on it. It doesn't have a time stamp attached to it. So no, time does not heal all wounds. With time, wounds become easier to deal with. Okay? Aren't you over it yet? If somebody told me that about my mama or my daddy, I think I might reach out and touch them. Because you're not going to rush my grief. Grief doesn't have a time limit. Allow a person to grieve as long as they want, as much as they need to, okay? They wouldn't want you to be sad. To me, that makes it feels like grief is wrong. To be hurt is wrong. To miss your loved one is wrong. I know my loved one, my mom wouldn't want me to wallow in my grief. And my dad wouldn't want me to wallow in my grief to where it affects my life. But it's life. It's part of life. Because I loved them. And grief is just love. It just means that you loved them, that you cared for them. Okay? So, that one, we ain't using that one either. At least they're not suffering anymore. While that is meant to be comforting, it overshadows the person that is mourning emotional suffering. Okay? It overshadows the pain that that person is feeling. Okay? So we ain't saying that either. Be grateful for the time you had. Gratitude and grief can coexist, but one doesn't erase the other. Yes, I am very grateful for the time I had with my mother and with my father and with my sister and my grandmother and my aunts and my uncles. But at the same time, I want more time. There's a lot more I could have learned. There's a lot more I could have done with them. So don't say that. Now, the one that everybody uses, I've used it. You've used it. Everyone has used it. I'm sorry for your loss. We're not using that no more. Okay? It feels generic. It feels impersonal. When someone's grieving, they want connection, not just a generic copy and paste, I'm sorry for your loss. It doesn't acknowledge the pain that the person that has lost someone is going through. Okay? I remember a lady in one of the classes I'm taking, the grief coaching classes, and she said that to someone, and the griever stopped and said, sorry for what? She lived a very beautiful life. There's nothing to be sorry about. So be careful with sorry for your loss. Instead, you have my condolences. You have my condolences, okay? To me, I'm sorry for your loss creates an emotional distance by inviting the grieving person to share, open up, or feel heard in their pain. So by saying, you have my condolences, you allow that person to open up. You allow that person to say how they feel. Allow them to express themselves instead of saying, I'm sorry for your loss. You have my condolences. Okay? So, like I said, some alternatives you can use is, I can imagine what you're going through. You have my condolences. I have no words, but I'm sitting with you through this. And last but not least, sometimes your silence is all that is needed. We don't always have the words to say when someone loses someone. We don't. We don't have the words. Okay? So if you're unsure what to say, or if you have no words, sometimes just sitting with them and listening to them talk, listening to them vent, listening to them cry, and just holding them, being there. Grief is all about just being there for someone and having someone to be there for you. Because grief affects us all. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, or anything. What type of career you have, how much money you have. It doesn't matter. It affects us all in different ways. So sometimes just sitting in silence. Sometimes just listening to what that person is going through is enough. Hold them. Hold their hand. Hug them. Show them compassion. And don't just do it in the moments, in the beginning. hold their hand for as long as they need it. I remember thinking this thing that I had created, and I was gonna post it on Facebook, but I didn't. And it said, if I'm ever not here and you see my sons, let them know how much I love them. Remind them how much I love them. Remind them how much I cared for them. Remind them of how much they meant to me. There's a guy my mom was working with. And I remember I posted something. It's like maybe a year after my mom had passed away. I posted something on Facebook. And he inboxed me and he was like, man, he's like, y'all mama loved y'all so much. She was so proud of y'all. Just random guy. I don't really know him. But my mom knew a lot of people and a lot of people knew my mom. So I can remember like walking in the stores and people would be like, oh, you Mona's daughter, huh? And I have no clue who these people is. I'm like, yeah. You know, they asked me how she doing and stuff like that. Just when she was alive. And, you know, I talked to them for a little while and I have no clue. I tell her I said hi and I'm like, I have no clue who these people are. But okay. So, yes, like, he inboxed me and he was like, he just wanted to let me know how much my mom cared for y'all. She's like, she always talked about her children. She always talked about her grandchildren. You know, she was proud of y'all. She loved y'all. And I was like, my mama, you know, you mean to tell me so-and-so wasn't her favorite? After all, we always clowning about who's who favorite. But, you know, that just felt good in that moment to see this from a guy that knew my mom, but I had no clue who he really was. You know, I know he was on my Facebook. He was my Facebook friend. And I knew he worked with her because he did say that in his message, but I personally didn't know him. So, yes, I want to encourage you to be there for someone if you know they're taking the grief journey hard. And as always, if things get too tough, if things get too rough that you can't handle it, I want to encourage you to seek help from a therapist. There is nothing wrong with going to a therapist. Therapists are great tools to help you on your journey. Also, I would like to let you know that you can get my book, Pathways to Peace, available on Amazon, to help you through this journey. In the book, I discuss about the 5 stages of grief, things you may experience. Not everyone experiences this, and it has coping strategies. It deals with your emotions. I'm sorry, y'all might see I don't wrote in my book. It deals with your emotions, just different things. It's a really great journal. It has resources at the end for you if you want to go see therapists. There's hotlines. There's all kind of different resources in the back. It also has a place for you to write affirmations, self-care. Like I tried to put everything I know was necessary in this journal. Pages of remembrance. It has a place for you to put photos of you and your loved one. Speaking of which, I need to go get mine picked up. Also, express yourself. You know, if you want to write a poem, if you want to write a story about your loved one. These circles at the bottom of each page allows you to check your emotions before you write. So I can remember one day I was feeling kind of blue. I was down. I was in my emotions. I colored my thing blue. And then I did the exercise. I said, you know what, I'm going to meditate for a little while. By the time I got finished, I hadn't got everything that was on my chest off. And I was feeling better. So then I colored the other one yellow because I was feeling good. You know, so the journal is very helpful on your journey. It is a great tool to help you on your journey. I created this out of my own grief, out of my own circumstance, to make sure it would ask you the questions that needed to be asked. I used to journal a lot before I lost my parents and even after. But having the prompts is what really pulled my emotions out. Being able to recall different events in my mind about my parents that I didn't want to forget. And I have it in my journal, and it's going to forever be a part of me. So I can always go to the page of remembrance and write down my mom's favorite color, my dad's favorite color, my mom's favorite food, things that I just didn't want to forget. Because as time passed, you're going to forget some stuff. Okay? So that's why I created Pathways to Peace. To allow you to see where you are on your journey. And then you can always go back and look and see how far you've come. So I want to tell you, if you don't have it, run to Amazon and go get it. Okay? Also, I do have another video that I'm going to be posting. So please stay on, subscribe to our channel so you can get the notifications of when I do post it. Also, I have an upcoming interview I'm doing with someone. That is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to this interview. I am so excited. So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so you can know when I post my next video. And especially when I do this interview, it's going to be great. I want to thank you for watching. Also, you can join my Facebook group called Grief to Grace Support Group. It is on Facebook. I'm going to put the link to my journal, Pathways to Peace, as well as my Facebook group in the description. And I'm also going to try and attach a link to the worksheet I have in my group called Check Your Emotions. It allows you to check your emotions. You can print it, use it as much as you want. Also in my Facebook group, there are other resources to help you and prompts that I've posted to help you on your journey. And remember, this too shall pass. Thank you for watching. Have a great 4th of July, because that's when I'm recording this, and I know y'all can hear it popping in the background. So, I love y'all all, and peace.